ChatGPT announced a new web browser called Atlas. Bring ChatGPT with you across the web for instant answers, smarter suggestions, and help with tasks, all with privacy settings you can control. Unlock the web with ChatGPT by your side. Open a ChatGPT sidebar in any window to summarize content, compare products, or analyze data from any site you're viewing. They're researching some sneakers, and then it pops up on the side and it says, would these be good shoes for a marathon? Picks up where you left off. You can choose what ChatGPT remembers so it can bring you relevant details when you need them. Open the Halloween decorations I was looking at last week in some new tabs. Open tabs, open 5 Etsy pages you viewed. This would be useful. Let's see if it actually works. Takes action for you. In agent mode, ChatGPT interacts with sites for you, always under your control. Use it to do tasks from start to finish, like researching and shopping for a trip, available in preview for Plus, Pro, and Business accounts. So we'll see if it's useful in agent mode, how quick it is, how often it needs you to step in, assist you when and where you need it, turn your cursor into a collaborator, highlight text in calendar invites or docs, and get help from chat in one click. So here you can see that they're writing a team meeting email. They highlighted something, and then it says, make this sound more professional. We'll see how effective it is. The Atlas macOS app is only available for macOS 14 Plus with Apple Silicon M1 or better. So you need a relatively new MacBook laptop. For the purposes of this video, when we get to testing the browser, I'm going to literally try to do all of these things. When you log into your chat, you'll start to see this at the bottom. So it says try Atlas, ChatGPT's new web browser, and then it says download. So I'm going to download. This is what the installer looks like, and I'm going to drag it to applications. Here we have welcome to ChatGPT Atlas. The first thing that it asks you is to log in with ChatGPT. I will say that the design is really clean. I love it. I'm going to log in to ChatGPT the way I normally would. Once you log in, this is what it looks like, and it's going to show the accounts that you have. If you have more than 2, you're going to have to choose your default workspace, which I am, and I'm going to click continue. Then it says import data from another browser. Bring your saved passwords, bookmarks, and browsing history over from Chrome to pick up where you left off. This is pretty wild. I'm going to skip this for now and see if I like it before transferring absolutely everything over. Turn on browser memories. Allow ChatGPT to remember useful details as you browse, to give smarter responses and proactive suggestions. You're in control. Memories stay private. Turn on. Ask ChatGPT on any website. Open the ChatGPT sidebar on any website to summarize, explain, or handle tasks, and make your cursor a collaborator. Continue. Set as default browser. This is wild. Unlock 7 days of extended limits on messaging, file uploads, data analysis, and image generation on ChatGPT Atlas. So it's basically saying if you set us as a default browser, we're going to give you more points. Skip. You're all set. Welcome to Atlas. Once you log in, this is what it looks like. It just looks like ChatGPT. It is pretty intuitive because I can click auto, instant thinking, or the legacy model of GPT 4.0. And then I guess here, this is where you would open your search history. It says ask ChatGPT or type a URL. It feels very modern. It feels good, but let's try it. I could search LinkedIn live video for entrepreneurs. Now, what's interesting here is that there are already suggestions popping up on the bottom from LinkedIn, from YouTube, and there's no preview as to who it's from other than the source, right? The person could already click one of these, which is, again, when you're thinking about your SEO strategy and your content strategy for the future, this is the limit of options that people are going to have. Let me click this. Okay, now it's not so bad when you're one of the 3. I don't like that it took me to a new screen, but here, LinkedIn Live video for entrepreneurs. Let's just click enter and see what it does. And what's interesting is I just put in the same thing, but now the YouTube thing is second. Maybe that's because I clicked it, and it's going to the same one, and it's going to one that was streamed a year ago, and it's a live stream. So I think that's very interesting. And let's click enter. It's searching the web. If you're an entrepreneur looking to leverage LinkedIn Live. So it's giving me an answer. Now, I will say it's a little slow. I don't like the fact that it's slow. It's slower than Google Chrome. Google would have had me to 25 different pages already. And I'm someone that when I'm in my work mode, this slowness is not going to work. If they want me to really switch over, the speed needs to be increased. It says, what is LinkedIn Live? And it shows how many options here, how many images. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only shows 7 options. So far, we had 3 when you did the initial search, 7 now for the photos. If you're not one of these 7, good luck. Good thing I'm 2 of the 7. And then it goes through the process of actually going live. It does list the sources all the way at the bottom, and you could see some of the sources here. And these were the sources that it used for the written part. Now up here, you could kind of see the search preview. So live video for entrepreneurs. I'm dominating this keyword here. Live video for entrepreneurs, LinkedIn live stream strategy, getting started. One thing that I'm saying is it's like diversifying sources. So it has some from LinkedIn. Let me click this one. Not surprised. This is the power of LinkedIn newsletters, by the way. So it has the full LinkedIn newsletter, and then it has 2 of the LinkedIn newsletters that I publish under live video for entrepreneurs. It has the LinkedIn source, it has the YouTube source with different videos here, Riverside, Social Live, and Medium. Then it has images, and then it has videos. And on the videos, it only has 5 options. And the news sources here that are listed are more traditional sources like CNBC, Entrepreneur Magazine, Forbes, Fortune, all of those things. And that's not surprising. Pro tip for you, if you are a business owner, start to see what is showing up in the browser, start to put in questions, keywords, key terms related to your core offer, related to your business, related to the problems that you help people solve, and start to see where you are showing up, where you are not showing up, because that could be an indicator to what gaps need to be filled in your overall marketing strategy. Because remember, you have to meet customers where they are and where they are going. 800 million people use ChatGPT weekly that are active users. More and more people will continue to do so. And if you're just not one of the options that are listed, unless they find you on social, good luck. So please, going into 2026, do not ignore long form video strategy. Do not ignore LinkedIn. Do not ignore LinkedIn newsletters. Do not ignore YouTube. Let's do another search, but let's do it with the intention of it popping up on the side and helping us pick the best product possible. And in this example, I'm going to search for the best microphone. Based on my knowledge, I know which one I would recommend on the site that we're going to go to, but let's see if it recommends the same one. We're going to go back here. The site that I'm going to go to is sure.com. When you get to the site, it doesn't automatically pop up. So up here, you have to actually click Ask ChatGPT, and then it will pop up. So I'm going to give it some context, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm a business owner. I'm going to start doing podcasts and start going live on video. What microphone do you recommend? Hey, I'm a business owner. I'm going to start a podcast and start going live on video. What microphone do you recommend? I know which one I would recommend, and I know the reasons. So let's see if it agrees with me. Again, it's taking like 20 seconds, but that's a long time. This is the one that I would recommend. It chose the same one that I would recommend for the same reason. And it's because the MV7, it's not the super fancy one that you see on a lot of podcasts, it's like the shorter, fatter one, but it's because it has the USB and the XLR. So you could start plug and play, put it into your laptop, very easy, very simple, but you could upgrade once you actually start to take your podcasting or your live streaming seriously, and you could actually grow with the microphone. One of the things that I don't like though is that it didn't give me the link. So it's not making it easier for me in terms of shopping. It should give you the link to begin with instead of me now having to go through the site and search for it. It should make it easier. So here's the MV7. Highly recommend this one instead for the reasons that it listed. Would you like me to add the recommended accessories? It's recommending accessories, but it doesn't mention the fact that there's just bundles right in front of me. It should say, hey, what's your budget? If your budget's around 500, then I highly recommend the bundle. And this is why, because the boom arm, the mic, and the headphones. And this is what I recommend if you're going to take it seriously. You could use this for years and you could grow with it. Now that we've kind of experienced Atlas in terms of helping us shop, let's test its agent mode. I could just close this, or I can open another tab and I can click agent mode here. and it says, what should we do today? I'm going to give it a task to find the best printer and to add it to an Amazon shopping cart for me. Find the best printer for a small business owner and put it in my Amazon shopping cart. It should go to Amazon by itself. We should be able to see where it clicks. Is it going to do it in a short amount of time? How long is it going to take? Is it going to choose the right printer? I will say that compared to agent mode 6 months ago, I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel. It has definitely progressed, and it's even getting to the Amazon website much quicker, under a minute. It looks a lot prettier while it's doing it. So it got to the brother page. I found the product we want. I'll go ahead and open the link to access the product page. It seems like everything is lined up for the next step. It says it seems the page might require selecting extra items like a protection plan. I successfully used the Alt-Shift shortcut and the item was added to the cart with the subtotal showing as $769.99. I don't need a $700 printer. That's one of the things when you're asking it to shop, make sure that you give it constraints, like maybe printer under $200 or $300 or whatever. Giving it context also helps. Like, I'm going to need color a lot, or I'm not going to need color a lot. I just want it for notes and reading or whatever. So make sure that you do give it price constraints when you put it in agent mode. But it did perform the task that I asked it. It did find one of the best printers for a small business, and it was going to add it to cart. The only thing is that I'm not logged into my Amazon. So just make sure that before logging into your Amazon, putting all of your passwords in here, that you make sure that you do constraints and that you don't just trust it to just buy something. That's crazy. If you want to stop agent before it's done, all you have to do is click stop here and it will stop. And it will keep a history of all of the things that I did. As you can see, it keeps a recorded history of where it clicked and the troubleshooting that it took. This took about a couple minutes to do. So let's test out the email. Want to invite you to our next 2-day LinkedIn growth event. I'm going to spell this wrong on purpose. And then what you do is to activate ChatGPT collaborators, you highlight it and then you click the little button. Whatever color you customize it in your preferences will be the color of the little button. You click it and then describe your change. Write a formal email in the style of Shakespeare. Good morrow. I prithee lend thine ear to this humble invitation. Our house, the Growth Academy, doth prepare a gathering most enlightening, a 2-day LinkedIn Growth Live event. That's pretty awesome. All right, I'm going to give it a better constraint, rewrite in 15 words, or let's see if it can do it. Join our 2-day. Hey, I like that one better. The other thing up here is that when you click your face, you'll see the different accounts that you have, but then you could also see any bookmarks, any downloads, extensions, passwords, settings. You could also do incognito window, and in the settings, what you can change is that you could change ChatGPT as your default browser. I haven't done that yet. I've only tested this a couple of times. But if I were to do that, I can click it up here. The theme, light. So it could look like this. It could look dark, or it just depends on your system. The accent color, you could scroll this bar right here and it will change. Based on the color that you choose will be the color of the little bubble when you highlight text. Up here, if you do not want ChatGPT to be your atlas, so to speak, on certain sites, then you can disable the sites. Here you can manage the data that you want, the accessibility, appearance, certificates, notifications, customize ChatGPT. So you can make it so that it has a personality, that it knows about you, that you prefer short responses over long. You can go through the memories here and you could delete what you don't want it to remember about you or to keep in its memory about you, because that will influence certain answers and how it answers in the future, and whether you wanted to reference chat history. Then there's data controls, and then there's agent mode. And for agent mode, you could describe how ChatGPT should navigate the web. For example, specify preferred sources, steps to follow, or when to ask for approval. So for agent mode, you could say only ask for approval when it comes to payment method. Instead of it asking you a bunch of clarifying questions in the process, go through these in detail and personalize it to your liking. And I would say use it for at least a week, because you really don't know whether you like something unless you use it. If you like it, then I'd say switch over and make it your preferred browser.